Okay. Okay, welcome to Webinar Wednesday on where are we? June 12th. And we have with us today the Best Quest. So Shaun Best is a survivor of a 3-month coma and has secured many blessings since that have been highlighted in his book called The Best Quest. Joined Shaun today as he's going to share his story and then take some questions from the audience as well. So we'll let you get started, Shaun.
Thank you, Miss Nikki. Living, is it lived it, Devlin?
Lived all in, yep.
Lived all, okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity to spread blessings. In 1977, while I was riding a three-wheeler in the front yard, it got out of control and it hit the highway. When it hit the highway, a truck ran into my right side of my head, and my head blew to the size of a basketball, and I stayed like that for 3 months: September, October, November, and December. December the 15th, I came out of the coma at Jefferson Regional Hospital in Pine Bluff. Well, they didn't at that time. My arms were up to my chest like this, and I hadn't walked in over 3 months. And the doctors gave me very little prognosis for ever walking or talking. Well, God had other plans. At Christmas Eve, 1977, I'm sitting beside the Christmas tree at our home. And Dad says there'll be no Olympics, there'll be no Air Force. It was a joke. Shaun will not be able to do anything. Well, I was 12 years old, and I didn't like being told I couldn't do something. So I didn't do this, but God showed up because I was able to rise up with my arms like this to my chest, maintain my balance, tippy-toed from the living room to the kitchen, and the family made a beeline to the left and to the right to catch me. Had I fallen? But I didn't fall. I didn't even stumble. And luckily, I turned around and walked back to my mobility chair. And fortunately for me, even though the doctor said there was little prognosis of ever walking, I've been walking for over the last 40 years. And that has led going, I was able to. Now, before the coma, I was valedictorian, or number one in my class. After the coma, I fell to the top 10%, which isn't that bad. But anyway, it wasn't number one. Then after that, I went to college at one college, 83 to 85, another college, 89 through 93, then another college, 2005 through 2006. Anyway, I've got a lot of college education, and I am a substitute teacher here in Beaumont. But transportation seems to be my biggest hang up on getting to jobs and getting to speaking engagements and stuff like that. I'm not allowed to drive due to my fall history, and but God has blessed me exponentially. I mean, get all 10 of my fingers back, get all 10 of my toes back, both ears, both eyes. I am very, very blessed by the hand of God. Coming to Texas was a blessing also. I've come to Texas, and I've got 22 new diagnoses in the last 5 years. So it's been quite a story. And we're working here at Beaumont Independent School District. That's where I work, and I'm a substitute teacher. We're working for full inclusion for all students, because if God allowed me to come back from all that trauma, He don't. I hope I'm not stating this wrongly, but I don't think God wants us to have trauma. So safety helmets are a big, big thing to myself, because our younger generation don't know, and a lot of times they're not concerned about it. And we need to get our future adults concerned where they ask mom and dad for safety helmets, because safety helmets, well, I would have went to the Air Force, the Olympics, etc., had the coma not occurred. So if there's anything I can do to benefit others to prevent trauma, and or if they have trauma to recover from it, know that I'm here, Miss Nick.
Yeah, I know you've reached out a few times about getting information to other survivors and being a connection to them. So, yeah. Yeah. Anybody have some questions for Shaun and want to hear more about what he's gone through? So yeah, you've done a lot of schooling. So what kind of degrees do you have? You said you're a teacher.
I have an associate degree in hotel motel management, 83 through 85. Then I have a business management degree, 89 through 93 at the University of Arkansas. And then I attempted to get a teaching certificate at Henderson State, but I couldn't pass college algebra, so I couldn't do that. Well, now I tried college algebra at UAM, SAU, and Henderson. I tried it at 3 different colleges and struck out. So 3 strikes, you're out.
That college algebra, yeah, that can be tricky.
But it's not for everybody. So I have to accept my limitations. But like I said,
Shaun, have you met other survivors that are now friends that you stay in touch with?
unfortunately, here in Beaumont, there's not a lot of survivors, Miss Westler. Hope I said that right. And but if they're out there, know that I'm willing and able to be their friend. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the question, because I come here to be a motivator.
JP, do you have a question?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay. I just
Thank
seen
you.
you come off mute, so. Uh, so yeah, you said you are a substitute teacher. How does that?
They call me when they need me.
Yeah. So then, yeah, how does that go with students? Do you love that part?
Well, I love it, but I haven't been called here in Beaumont yet.
Okay.
They've got bullying charges. The Texas Education Agency filed bullying charges against the city of Beaumont in 19, because they wouldn't allow me to be interactive with the children and stimulate them on brain safety and other protective measures. So, and for the Texas Education Agency to file bullying charges, that lets me know that my encouragement, even though it's influential to others, it's not being allowed here in Beaumont. So we just got to pray and stay in good faith. That that's why there's 30 different cases by the TEA, the Texas Education Agency, the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. They want me on. I'm on the advisory board, but yet I'm still not allowed around children because of the helmet, safety helmet.
They don't want you to teach kids about helmet safety?
No, ma'am.
Hmm.
I
It's-
mean, that's what they told me I would be doing on KF. In 17, I was nominated for my brain safety program, and we thought it would be a wide success because once they see the value of a helmet, that'll reduce healthcare costs for other children and other families. But that hadn't been the case here in Beaumont,
Okay. Okay.
sadly.
So yeah, tell me more about your helmet safety program.
Okay, let me maybe I'll put this on for the remainder of the conversation because this is how most people see me. They see this helmet and they, for one reason or another, they don't think I'm intelligent. And well, you've learned from our few minutes together, I'm intelligent. And I mean, it may not be the smartest person in the world, but the safety helmet. I've had 5 falls here in Beaumont due to the unsafe streets and unsafe buildings or non-accessible buildings, and I wear it because if I don't promote safety, then who is?
Right, yeah. So yeah, tell us how you promote the helmet safety.
Well, I wear this helmet day in and day out, primarily so that children will see the importance of wearing a helmet to prevent brain trauma that follows when they're riding bikes, horses, ATVs without helmets. Hopefully, they'll see the importance, or their parents will, and put a safety helmet on their children when they're riding bikes, horses, ATVs.
Is there people who are there kids who wear their safety helmets and
Oh yeah,
good, yeah.
I mean, it's increased since I've been here.
Okay.
One of the things I would almost suggest, I remember when I was in school, a long time ago, we would have presentations where, the principal would gather everybody into the gymnasium and they'd have a presentation of some sort. Have you tried that?
I have tried it, but I'll try it again, JP. I call it a safety seminar.
Yeah, I know in some places in North Dakota there's a group called Safe Kids. I don't know if there's something like that in Texas.
Safe kids. I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I don't know what Texas has either, I guess, but yeah, that's
We have the Children's Miracle Network here, and
okay.
I've tried to be of influence to them, but not yet.
Okay. Hmm.
As you can see, I mean, 8 years, and I'm still not giving up because one child may be saved, and well, they don't need to have the expense that I've had, 5 million, and uh, when it can be prevented.
Right.
I
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ms. Nikki, for seeing the value of this presentation and the need for our children to know about helmet safety because that only makes money because it would cost money if they weren't wearing helmets.
Right. Yeah. So I know Carly does partner with Safe Kids and does helmet presentations in the Grand Forks area, and she has done it in Dickinson. But yeah, it's not statewide here either. So all those helmet presentations, or it's more guess it's not just helmets, it's all safety. But helmets is part of it, and then sometimes there's a way to do some kind of event where yeah, you can get money donated for helmets and get those
Huh.
helmets out to kids, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it is very important. That prevention piece is tough to get out there, but yeah, it's important. Yeah,
Very important.
yeah.
Did I mention that I was almost aborted?
You're almost what?
Aborted.
No, you didn't talk about that.
Yeah, 1965, my dad wanted me aborted due to the healthcare costs. I was born with congenital heart failure, and uh, the long trips from my hometown in South Arkansas all the way to Little Rock were very costly, and that's what Mom told me in the 1990s. And I'm glad she had her way and was able to, because, well, uh,
Right, for
I
sure.
think I'm a blessing uh,
Yeah.
uh, in most ways, and if I can bless others to prevent their children from having lifelong consequences of brain trauma, uh, know that I'm here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Doing important work. Absolutely.
Thank you, young lady. God bless you. Any more questions?
So yeah,
Shaun,
oh, sorry. Yep,
sorry.
go ahead, Debbie.
Okay, sorry about that. Shaun, I was just wondering what was maybe the most challenging thing for you after your brain injury? Was it more like physical things or was it, thinking abilities, or what would you say was most challenging?
Physical. And the reason was, I mean, the mind was damaged, no question. But after after some meditation and some mind practice on learning techniques, I was able to master most of my school. I graduated with like a 3.1 or 3.2, something like that, and uh, I didn't get back the 4 point that I had before the coma, but I was able to get some of it back, and that has been a process my entire life because I've been able to do so many things that others said I couldn't do. Thank you, Miss Debbie.
So what kind of physical limitations did you have to overcome?
Uh, balance.
You still struggle with that?
Oh gosh, yes, balance and coordination. I work with the cane to keep me because, uh, like I said, I do fall on unsteady ground or unlevel ground, and I do trip. I've fallen, like I said, 5 times here in Beaumont due to non-accessible buildings and streets.
Okay.
Now, those 5 times are added to the 53 times that I have fallen prior to coming to Texas. So there's a total of 58 blows in all.
Wow. So
Yeah.
when you fall, do you've suffered some concussions too?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They may be minor, but a minor concussion to somebody who's had as much brain trauma as myself is a major deal.
That's a big deal, yeah. So it takes longer to recover each time, right?
Now, I'm not going to say that it takes more time to recover because the last 5 that I've had here in Beaumont, due to the Texas doctors cutting some of the drugs that I was on off, the recovery rate has been pretty good. I mean, it doesn't usually take me within an hour. I'm usually back to full full steam ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
What would you say has been the most helpful resource to you with what you've experienced with like your falls and the other symptoms that you have now that you're in Texas?
The student support services in the in the colleges that I went through, they provided the most reinforcement that I was smart and are intelligent and that I could do it. And they have been some of my biggest champions over the years.
I've got a suggestion and I'm not sure that it's something you want to do. One of
Okay.
the things that happened with me is the newspaper, local newspaper, did an article on me. And one of the things that I did is um, go very much into um, how the support group that I was in at the time was helping me. So basically what I'm trying to say is maybe you could go with the with your local newspaper and basically tell them, you know, do a little story on yourself. And at the end, what I would do is make a suggestion that you really wish that the local schools would allow you to do a presentation and so forth.
That sounds like a great idea, JP. I'm writing that down.
I do a lot of writing too.
I know. Thank you, Mr. JP. How do you say your last name? Hark,
HRICAK. Believe it or not, it's pronounced Rechak.
Recheck. Okay.
It's a Czechoslovakian name.
Okay. Glad to meet you, Mr. Recheck.
No problem. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for your advice. Any others?
So yeah, your injury, what year did you say? It was in the 70s?
77.
77. So
I
did
had just started training for the Olympics. I wanted to be a diver and a runner.
okay.
Sadly, those two, well, I wanted to go to the Air Force like Uncle Joe and go in the Air Force and the Olympics. And but due to the coma, that knocked me out of being physically fit to endure the boot camp and all like that. So had to sideline me.
So tell me about rehabilitation. I know you said you were home when you started to walk, but did you receive any kind of rehabilitation?
I received, yes, ma'am. I received physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. And if I may, a big I commend those professionals because to work with me to get my fingers to work again, they were, I mean, if you tighten your fist, that's how closed my hands were for 3 months.
Yeah.
And getting these all 10 fingers back out and working again, the speech therapy, occupational therapy, and the physical therapist, if I commend them each time I meet them because they are so instrumental in my recovery, in
Yeah.
my full recovery, because they gave me the desire and the belief that I could do it. And so here I am.
Yeah, that's what we always try to, encourage survivors as well. The therapy, it's a lot of work, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. But that's a good thing about it. It's good work because you're you're fulfilling things that you can do.
Yeah.
And if others see that, that'll reduce certain one's depression.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So have you ever had to go back to therapy since your injury? Now, now you've had some concussions, like have you reached out and done some more therapy since the
Uh,
initial?
I've tried, but the physical therapist in this part of Texas, they don't think I need it.
Okay.
that's why I'm not getting the balance therapy I need, because they don't believe I was in a coma.
Oh,
They think I made it up.
oh, well, do you have your records, your
Oh
hospital?
yeah. Yes, ma'am. I got records. I got newspaper articles from
Yeah.
the 1970s. I
Mhm.
mean, I've got everything. Or no,
Yeah.
not everything, but I have plenty of articles.
Yeah. Yeah, because that it always can help, and there's always new advances to the therapy that
Yes, ma'am.
could definitely help. Because we always encourage, even if we're contacted at the Brain Injury Network, years later, we're still encouraging rehabilitation and the therapies and of that, because yeah, sometimes people don't get it right away, but even if you do, you might need to go back, right?
Right. Nothing is guaranteed overnight, and a recovery is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, and we all fall back at some point, and we need refreshers or re-encouragers, and we, nobody, nobody's perfect.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
We're always striving to increase our skills.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, if there are any ways that this story can get out to support groups in your state, I would appreciate that, because then, and I can give you my email and my phone number, and or you may already have it, and because every state has individuals at the beginning level, at the median level, and at the best end of the outcome. But they don't know that they can thrive over harsh circumstance. And trust me, if you read the book Best Quest, you'll see some of the difficulties that I've had over the last 4 decades, and now to have my efforts being continued through the Beaumont Enterprise, the newspaper articles about my recovery and everything. And I say my recovery, but it's God's recovery, because nobody comes back from a coma without God on their side.
Yeah. So yeah, we will definitely make sure that support groups are, can link to can attend the webinar and watch it.
Right.
They can always, reach out for more too. Yeah. If they,
Thank you for your
yep,
concern.
we will do that. Yep. We're not involved in all the support groups, so we do
That's okay.
have a lot of the support group contact information. So yeah.
Step by step, we'll get there.
Right. Yep.
Rome wasn't conquered in a day.
Yep.
Shaun, you mentioned that transportation has been a challenge for you.
Yes,
Are
yes,
there
ma'am.
resources in your community that you can use, like a bus, city bus, or
Well, I would ride the city bus, but they threw me down 12-3-18, and they wouldn't let me sit down in a seat before the bus driver drove off. So I'm really apprehensive about trusting them again.
what other options do you use?
Well, I have to rely on my friends,
Okay.
and trust me, that lots of them don't like taking me places. I mean, they'll do it, but like I said, God's with them, and they do take me places. But just pray that the Beaumont City Bus uh, corrects their ways, so the next time I get on there, I'll be safer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, public transportation is kind of tough sometimes. Yeah, I know, with North Dakota being so rural, sometimes that's a challenge here too, especially to get from maybe in town you can get around on a bus, but like to another community or something, transportation is difficult. So it's all a work in progress, right? Everywhere.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, Cassie said, thanks for sharing your story. She needs to jump off.
Thank you, Cassie.
Anybody else have any questions for Shaun?
Shaun, I'm curious about if you remember your accident, or if not, what is your first memory after you came out of the coma?
Well, I don't remember the accident, but my brother and several others have explained it to me. And
Sure,
trust me, Miss Debbie, they don't want to go. They don't want me to remember all the gory details.
right?
But I I got trapped. I hit the truck. From the best I can understand, I hit the truck under the front wheel of the truck and got tore up. Um, Cracked my pelvis, broke a leg, broke a jaw. Uh, that's how I hit the truck. Somewhere in the wheel mechanisms.
So I'm sure that was very traumatizing for your whole family, huh?
Oh gosh, yeah. Uh, like I said, 3 months in a coma. Most of the time I was black because I didn't have no oxygen in me, and the head was full the size of a basketball. Uh, they're to be commended for their everything that they, I mean, everything they've endured. Mom and dad are done departed, but I got one uncle alive, and he remembers it real well, and it was a hard time for us all.
Right. So yeah, her other part of Debbie's question was, what do you remember after you woke up?
Oh,
What's your
uh,
first memory? Or
my first memory, my girlfriend uh, came up there to see me December the 15th, and I opened my eyes. Got, she came in my room and saw me, and I wasn't looking that good, to be honest. Uh, but she was able to endure it for long enough to get me to open my eyes and smile. And they trust me. They didn't think I would, but by the grace of God, I did. And that's where the Christmas miracles come from.
okay. Yeah. So after you woke up, you didn't stay in the hospital for very long, huh?
No, I got to since it was close to Christmas, I got to go home for Christmas break, and then I went back to rehab the 3rd or 4th of January, and I got out March the 7th of '78.
Okay. Okay.
3 months is all it took to get everything back in order, and
Wow.
that's that's God. God's had His hand on me a long time,
Yeah.
and I'm just honored to be talking to you and spreading prevention.
Yes. So you talked about you did a lot of prevention work in Arkansas before you moved to Texas. So tell us a little bit about that prevention work.
Okay, prevention. I go into libraries, I go into schools, and do I call it a smart brain event. I go in and talk about the value and the benefits of wearing helmets and protecting the brain from trauma. Therefore, you'll have more use of it. You'll have more capabilities because uh, whenever a colleague of mine, Howard Gardner at Harvard, developed the multiple intelligences, we've all got intelligences that are inside the brain, but often we don't utilize all of them because we're uh, convinced we're not intelligent enough to utilize them. And every brain has a way of accessing the multiple intelligences to fulfill your destiny.
Perfect. So in Arkansas, that took off really well and you were able to outreach to a lot of places?
Yes, ma'am, I was invited to speak pretty well at all the schools below Pine Bluff.
Okay.
Pine Bluff is about 120 miles. No, it's about 90 miles from my hometown in Hermitage. And it took off real good at the schools. They loved the helmet because they saw the value of wearing a helmet. And eventually they will here in Beaumont, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Yes.
We just got to be prayerful and work with the city officials. And I mean, it was quite an honor for me to get KFDM Pay It Forward Award because that launched Senator Cruz, Senator Corrin to implement like 5 laws, including the TBI Health Act.
Okay.
And all of them here in Texas in 18 and 19. And eventually Beaumont will warm up and implement all those laws.
Yeah.
Just be prayerful and keep a positive outlook.
Yeah.
So you can't get anywhere thinking you're disabled, retarded, handicapped, afflicted, all them negative terms. They only ruin our self-witness for ourselves and for Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and the patience and all of that. Yes, it's
You
perfect.
gotta be patient
Yeah.
because, like I said, Rome wasn't conquered in a day, and neither will our society adapt to individuals like myself without a good understanding of our skills, our capabilities, and our potential.
Yeah.
And programs like this one, you're going to show a lot of people that they can thrive even in the face of adversity because, and not to give up when adversity comes along because adversity makes us better, makes us more patient, makes us wiser individuals. Any more questions?
Hi, Shaun. My name is Lutisha, and I had a question for you.
Okay.
I was wondering, after your accident, did it seem to affect like your skills, such as maybe like cooking for yourself, like that type of stuff, maybe daily stuff like that? And if so, what has seemed to maybe help you in that area?
Let me clear up, Letitia. I was 12 years old when the accident happened, and I wasn't that. Grandma cooked for me, so I wasn't in the kitchen that often. But the skills, the skills that I lost, uh, I was able to get most of them back.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, it took me a few months to give up my arms back because they had been clenched to my chest like this for 3 months, and getting them back to full use by April was quite a benefit.
Right. So what about now? Like, so those skills that she was mentioning, like cooking for yourself and doing all those things,
Oh yeah, I cook for myself. Yeah.
you learned all that because yeah, you were in the developmental process, you were developing at the time that injury happened, but those skills you were able to pick up on and do, you live independently.
Yes, ma'am. Have for the last 4 decades.
Okay. Okay.
That's awesome. That's good to hear, Shaun. I was just my son has had a brain injury, and one of the things that he's an adult. It happened to him when he was a year old, but
Oh,
he's an adult now and he's about 19 years old.
yeah.
But one of the things that I noticed is he can cook for himself, but I think sometimes he forgets that maybe the stove's on or that things are
Yeah,
still
well, now I
still
do that. Yeah, I do that. That's why I have to set myself out reminders that the stove is on or that the stove, is on because if I don't have the best mind, I don't, but I try and writing notes has helped me out tremendously.
So you've learned a lot of strategies
Oh
to,
gosh, yeah,
yeah,
yes, ma'am.
yeah. So it comes down to awareness too, right? You have
Awareness.
to be aware of what anything you like your deficits are, kind of.
Right.
You have to, yeah. And then you can incorporate strategies.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So where did you get those strategies from? Just from trial and error, or was there some
Trial and error.
professional that helped you to find those strategies?
They suggested them during my physical therapy and everything, but most of my skills come from my grandmother because she cooked for me for like 10 years after the coma, and watching her and watching Daddy, I saw that I could cook and that I could clean and take care of myself, wash my own clothes, do all that stuff, and from from my family is how I learned that I could do it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's and sometimes I don't know about back then when your injury occurred, but like now there's speech therapists who are really educated in brain injury, and they do a lot of that cognitive um rewiring. They help
Okay, okay.
with those skills. And so I think especially when we're looking at individuals having to incorporate strategies, those are some good people, professionals, to get in your corner and continue that cognitive speech therapy. Find a professional who is trained in and certified in brain injury, and be able to help navigate those skills and incorporate some tips into the day. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. If I may suggest some strategies on learning for those with traumatic brain injury, I used to get up at like 4 in the morning in school after the coma. I get up at 4 and I'd study to 7
Wow.
uh, because I had tests and all like that. And that's how I was able to do so good because my grandmother got me up at 4:30, and I'd study or reread notes and all like that, or copy and whatnot like that. And and if it can benefit anybody, it benefited me, as you're already seeing. But others need to know that it will contribute to their success thriving also.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's dedication for sure. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And another thing, listening to audio tapes of your notes. I used to record my notes.
Okay.
I mean, it may seem foolish, but it resulted in GPAs up around a 3 or more than a 3,
Yeah.
3.1, something like that. And
Yeah.
today a GPA is a whole lot more value than it was 30 years ago.
Shaun, when you first returned to school after your injury, was there any type of special programming that the schools offered you?
They did, but I wasn't included in it because I because I I'm not saying that I was better than anybody else, but they didn't see my limitations as restricted, and they didn't they didn't put the labels on me until I got out of high school and into college. You know,
One of the
disabled, retarded, handicap, all that. They didn't
one
put
of
those
the
labels on me.
things that I've done
Sorry.
is one of the things that I've done is using the iPhones that I have. I'll take pictures of things simply because it'll remind me, such as if I go to a store, take pictures of something and I'll, also the price on it. Then if I go to another store, I'll know what I'm comparing. Also, let's say that a place has got um, a calendar or whatever, and it's on a wall, but they only have one. I'll take a picture of the calendar. That way I know what's coming up. It's just
Amen.
easy, or at least easier for me.
Very intelligent. Very intelligent.
There's a question in the chat from Debbie. Did you experience any physical symptoms like headaches or sleep
Oh gosh, yes.
disturbances after your brain injury?
Yes. I hadn't even touched on that. Headaches are almost always going on in some capacity, and sleep apnea. I have that, and I, uh, what else did you say?
Yeah, it's about headaches or sleep disturbances. Yep.
Yes, both of those.
Yeah.
And
I know some people can't sleep. They have an insomnia. Some people sleep too much. You were up early studying for school. Did you need to take a nap during the day?
no, when I was raised on a farm, we didn't have time for naps.
Get naps.
You didn't get it between 9 and 4. You didn't get it.
Okay. All right. Did you
This
feel tired though? Like, did you feel like
I
that
wa-
was a hindrance?
I
So I know
wa-
a lot of times now we tell people, for brain health to get those rests, get those brain breaks, take a break.
Sadly, I didn't have those breaks.
You didn't have them. Okay.
one
I was
more
able
thing.
to thrive.
One more thing as far as the phones, I
Go ahead.
also I really use the recording and the pictures.
Yeah.
I'll take pictures of stuff. I'll take recordings, and I have on my phone. I also have a where I can have a reminder
Uh-huh.
that comes up. So that really helps.
Sure. Certainly. Anything that helps benefits us. Oh,
Yeah, we got to use those strategies that work, right? If we're gonna
amen.
write
Mhm.
it down and not look there again, then that's not a good strategy. But if, some people that works great. I'm one, yep, I got to write it down and look at it. But some people
That's okay.
need an alarm on their phone, right? And it's okay. It's whatever works.
For you.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to cover, Shaun?
Well, we've covered just about everything. I think. I mean, we covered open heart surgery. We took the 3-month coma. We've talked about the blows to the head over the last 4 decades, and uh, God has not allowed me to sit on the sideline too long. He's always kept me engaged, and uh, God has blessed me to have my work reference to Howard Gardner's book, The Unschooled Mind, in 1997. So I really am honored that you chose me to talk about my book, and any way I can be of value, which you've already insinuated that you're going to send this out to other chapters in North Dakota, and if any of the participants would like my email address, I can give it to them if that would be okay. SHAUN period BEST 1999 at yahoo.com. And then if you need a phone number, it's 409-529-1452.
Okay, I just threw a link in the chat for your book if you want to check that out.
Okay.
More information about that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you,
you have
Tori.
your email too, but I'm struggling to find it. I have it. I just-
Okay.
Any other questions for Shaun?
Shaun, just good luck. Just good luck on your endeavors, and
God bless
hopefully
you, JB.
you'll be able to pass on whatever wisdom and information you have to those to help protect them. You have a good one, all right?
All right, JP. God bless you.
Thanks everyone for attending, and
Thanks, everyone.
yes. All right, we will let you go and get back to your day. So,
Okay.
all
God
right,
bless.
thank you. You guys
Bye-bye.
take care. Bye-bye.